Hello everyone, Darko 2012 here with Global Government News, reading an article from the postgazette.com coming out of Pittsburgh. And the title of the article is Police Incident Provokes Ire. City high school students rally to demand an investigation into the arrest and alleged beating of a classmate. And this is a tragic story that was posted and carried by the Associated Press less than a week ago, and I meant to cover it when it first happened, but obviously I'm not the only one who thought this was complete crap, because his fellow students who went to this special school that he was going to are pretty pissed. So I guess that's a good thing. But it's just terrible. It's just terrible what happened to him. The whole story about him coming from his grandmother's house with a brand new coat that he got for his birthday, and then having cops say that he was carrying a pistol, and then started teaming up on him, came at him, started asking him, where's the dope, where's the drugs, where's the money, and he said he was scared, and then they basically, they scared the crap out of him, so he ran away. When he slipped on ice, they just commenced on beating the hell out of him. And he said that he thought he was being abducted because they were unmarked, an unmarked car with undercover cops, not in uniform, and basically they were just waiting. From what it looks like, they were just waiting for the next poor soul to come walking down where they were, and they were looking for an excuse. Where's the drugs? Where's the money? Where's the blah blah blah? And waiting for him to run, and he ran, and he did what they want him to do. And like I said, he thought, this individual, Jordan Miles, he said, his statement was, I thought I was being abducted. That's how bad this experience was for him. He thought he was being abducted until he saw the other police come up, the police cars pull up with marked cars. So here we go. Students from the city's Creative and Performing Arts High School marched to the city-county building on Tuesday in support of a classmate who said police brutally beat him earlier this month, calling for action on a case that has drawn public outrage and the attention of the FBI. The rally of more than 50 students who cried at times and held handwritten signs ended in front of council chamber members, where protesters demanded an investigation of the officers involved in the January 12th arrest of Jordan Miles in Homewood. And of course, all I know right now is that they were, quote, transferred. Mr. Miles, 18, who is charged with aggravated assault and resisting arrest, said 3 undercover officers beat him when they mistook a bottle of soda he was carrying for a concealed weapon. There are good police, said Kappa sophomore Nigel Ash, but if there's one bad officer that does something like this, we can't trust the police department. Police Chief Nate Harper yesterday asked for the public's patience as the city's Office of Municipal Investigations investigates, while members of the city's Fraternal Order of Police praised officers Richard Ewing, Michael Saldut, and David Sisak as the city's most effective at getting guns off the streets. Their actions were correct and law-abiding by everything they received in their training. Fraternal Order of Police Vice President Charles Hanlon said the demand by special interest groups that they be removed from the streets is an insult to their hard work. The day ended with heated comments from students and local activists before the Police Citizen Review Board, which also pledged a full investigation. Quote, most of the members sitting here just feel as much outrage at what has happened to this child, Board Chairman Marcia Hilton said after listening to about a dozen speakers, some of whom called the officers to be suspended or placed on desk duty. And they said, we will investigate. Mr. Miles' schoolmates pointed to his academic success, a violinist, an honor student. He is bound for Penn State University, they said. Mr. Miles' attorney, Carrington Lewis, has said the teen took repeated blows to the head. A tree branch impaled his gums, and the officers tore a chunk of hair from his head. In a criminal complaint, police said the officers on undercover patrol in Homewood spied Mr. Miles about 11 p.m. Like I said, they were just like little seething jackals foaming at the mouth waiting for someone like this. And, that's profiling. And a lot of people say, well, it's good to profile. It's good, That's how you can tell, what guys are bad. So this is what profiling does for you, and this is what their training does, which is they train them to be scared, right? To be scared. And so that's why they automatically thought that this person had a gun. Like I said, this first statement that he made, he ran away from them because he was scared shitless. Seeing a heavy object in his coat, they identified themselves as police and ordered him to stop. Mr. Miles ran, the complaint says, and the officers shot him with a taser. Oh yeah, that's right, they tasered him as well, I forgot about that, and struck him several times in a struggle. Mr. Miles has denied the officers identified themselves. Yeah, see, that's what I'm getting at. They didn't identify themselves. They just rolled up like something out of, not Judgment Night, but Training Day with Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke. Like something like that, Training Day. Where the guns? Where the money? That's what they said. Here we go. He says the officers were traveling in what is known as a 9-9 car, manned by plainclothes officers whose main goal is to rid a specific area of guns and drugs. They are not responsible for answering most 911 calls and are typically known as the zone's best and most aggressive officers. Officers Ewing, Saldut, and Sisak joined the force in 2005. Mr. Hanlon called them model officers and model citizens with special training and numerous awards and commendations. He said Officer Sisak earned an award for saving a drowning man when he worked with the Ocean City, Maryland Police Force. Officer Ewing earned a leadership award after graduating from the city's police academy, and Officer Saldut was named Officer of the Month last year. Well, Officer Sisak, that's awesome, and that's great, man, that he did that. But, these other two guys, they graduated. That's great. Whoop-de-doo. Compartmentalization. Not all cops are bad, just like they said. But once you put on that uniform, you wear that badge, you represent the people. But that's where it gets sticky, because they're a fraternal order of police. They're an order. They protect themselves. And that's all I need to say about that. He decried what he said was a perception that, quote, anytime anyone has a conflicting story with the police report, the police are lying. Just because Mr. Miles is an honor student doesn't mean the public should discredit the officer's account of the night, he said. The Police Citizens Review Board has added he is unable to conduct an unbiased investigation, does not know the details of the case. Stirring tears throughout the day were pictures of Mr. Miles, which showed a face covered in bruises, his eyes swollen. Something's wrong here, said City Councilman Doug Shields. After dozens of students and police accountability advocates addressed the council, look, they're right. These children asked us questions. It's front and center. If it makes us uncomfortable, then maybe we should quit the job. Then holding up the picture of Mr. Miles, he said, I wonder how much we're going to have to pay for this, because we know the lawsuits are going to come. The FBI confirmed yesterday that its agents are looking into Mr. Miles' allegations. We've gotten a lot of inquiries about this, said Jeffrey Keeling, and before today, we were aware of this thing happening, and we were assessing it. Mr. Keeling stressed that the FBI uses a tiered approach in its inquiries that begins with an assessment phase, then proceeds to a preliminary inquiry, and finally a full investigation. Agents are in the assessment phase of this case. Mr. Miles' attorney wrote a letter to the Pittsburgh office formally requesting an FBI investigation because he said only an outside agency can fairly investigate. Mr. Keeling said the lawyer's request had no bearing on the FBI's assessment on the case. The officers remain on duty but are in uniform instead of plain clothes, a decision Mayor Luke Ravenstall said he supports. So thank you, everybody, for checking this article out.